go to sleep on that time, or if you be bad outside, then you go to the dark room.
What's in the dark room?
There's just chairs and beds.
What did they say there was in there?
A monster.
And today I have a special guest. I would say it's kind of a messed up deal, but bro, can you give an introduction as to who you are? What's your name?
Hey, I'm Jason Gaona. I'm a single father of 4,
Wow.
and I'm just out here trying to make it, man.
I hear you, man. So you're in Midland currently, right?
Yeah, I'm here in Midland over here at Ink Addicts and Phase.
Okay, so it came across my desk, bro. Somebody tagged me on a video. It's pretty, I'm gonna be honest, pretty alarming with your son, what he's saying, bro. If you want to, go ahead and this daycare is in Midland, is that correct?
Yeah, it's the Child of Purpose Daycare over there on Midland Drive. I'm not exact on the address right now, but yeah, man, we've been going through different kinds of things with those people in there. They've gone through like 4 directors. Man, they've been neglecting my children. I pulled up to the school and my child was outside holding the door open for the people, like, and he shouldn't even be anywhere close to the door. There's monsters in the room. There's dark rooms and everything, man. They're over here mentally torturing my children, you know.
Okay, so when did you enroll him or put him in there? When was that? Give me the timeline.
So, man, I'm not even too sure. I know it was almost about a year now because we've been through 4 directors, and man, none of them make it because of what's really going on in there. I mean, if it wasn't that bad, why would they have to go through that many people? Nobody really wants to stay and watch it. You know what I mean?
I hear you. So you had him there for about a year. When did you first start noticing some oddities or something was not right here?
Whenever my children were getting ready for school in the morning, they were starting to like freak out whenever I'd bring out their blankets, and they were freaking out whenever they're getting ready. Like, Daddy, I want to go to work with you. I don't want to go to daycare no more. And she's only 3. And then I started asking my 7 and my 6-year-old the questions of what's going on. And hey, I need y'all to start looking out for me in there and let me know what's happening. And so they start telling me about monsters if they're being bad, or dark rooms if they're being bad. So I was like, that's not the discipline tactics that regular daycare should be taking. So that's when I figured out everything was wrong. So we went ahead and stood up to these people.
So
now,
go ahead.
And so now they kicked me out. As of today, they were no longer back. Welcome back to the school, or to the daycare. So
they just told you right there you no longer can take them there, correct?
They sent me an email because they had an investigation going because one of the teachers had grabbed my son's arm, and so they decided to just let me go instead of the teacher. So,
and what do you mean by grab his arm?
My son said that he wasn't supposed to be inside of the crib with my younger son and my younger daughter, and he got in there just to play with them. And so when the teacher asked him to get out, he got out. And then the teacher grabbed his arm, and he already had a scar from like a scratch that he got from like a month ago. So it was a fresh scar, and she squeezed it, and he told me about it, and he told me exactly who the teacher was, and it was Miss Blessing.
Who is she?
Do what?
Who is she?
She's just a teacher to the school, but she ain't nobody special to me. I mean, you don't get to treat my kids like that.
So let me ask you. I'm gonna play the video here later on this video, but your son's talking about the monster room or the dark room. Can you touch on that? What was he telling you about the monster room?
Man, if you look further into the comments, you'll see the dark room, and I left a video under a lady's comment. But if you can't find it, then I'll send you the message here in a minute, and you can have that video too. But yeah, it was a little room on the middle of the school, man. It was just a closet. I looked in it, man. It was pretty dark. The only light that came in was from the door being open.
Hold on.
If you shut the door, then it's pitch black.
Hold on, bro. So you're saying for disciplinary actions, they put your child in a completely dark room?
That's what my son is telling us, and that's not just him either. There's multiple people saying it now, and now that I posted this out on Facebook, there's a whole lot of people standing up to the school and letting me know what's going on.
Interesting. So, man, that's inexcusable right there. And this seems like a Christian-based daycare. I mean, Child of Purpose. It seems. I'm a
Well,
Christian, so I mean, is it
yeah.
a Christian place?
Well, I'm just gonna let you know this, man. Any Christian people that I've ran into in the past never treated my children like that, and they were always welcoming, and my children always loved to be around. And for them to stop loving going to daycare at a Christian school, it's just I don't believe that that they were practicing what they preached.
So let me ask you this, bro. What any other issues besides this? Her grabbing your son by the arm, hurting him, putting them in dark rooms. Anything else that
Yeah.
you saw was out of the ordinary or
Oh
pretty
yeah,
absurd?
absolutely, absolutely. I was pulling up to the school the other day, like I said, and my 7-year-old was holding the door open for her mom, and it alarmed me because anybody could have been sitting out there in that parking lot on Midland Drive, and they could have just grabbed my son because there was no teacher in the in the room as soon as or into the building as soon as I walked in the entrance. That's where both my sons were sitting, and I sat in there and waited for 2 minutes for somebody to come and see me.
Man, I mean, you're right, bro. You pull up and they're who would want their kids unaccompanied by the
Exactly,
door, right?
exactly.
So
Yeah.
anything else?
I mean, there was times I found earrings on the floor. Just I didn't really understand that stuff, and they brought my daughter out barefooted every now and then, and I'd have to tell them, no, 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 no. I've seen earrings on the floor. We can't do this. So, but
Hey,
it's
bro.
just a whole bunch of different stuff.
Hey, Jason. I've heard that the owners are Nigerians. Is that correct?
Yes, I believe so, but I'm not 100% sure on their ethnicity or anything.
Okay, and I'll just be completely honest. Some people from different parts of the world, they act differently, bro. They have a different
Oh
culture. I
yeah,
would say, you know.
absolutely. And they would tell us, they would tell me that, and I would tell them like, hey, I'm from America. I've got a culture too,
What?
and it's to stand up for my people and to be and to back my children. You know what I mean? Just like anybody else would have.
So what do you mean they would tell you they had a culture? Like they try to make an
I didn't
excuse?
understand. I didn't know if that was an excuse for the way they treated people. I didn't know if that was an excuse because they were loud. I didn't know if that was the excuse because you don't have to be mean in your culture if you have a church, especially a church base, because that's what I'm looking for in my baby in my daycares. I'm looking for my kids to be raised right. I'm not looking for just some hoodlum place to be. You know what I mean? I want my kids in a good environment. And that right there was the complete opposite of what I was looking for.
And let me ask you right now. So they went ahead and cut you and your family loose. They don't
Yeah.
want you there anymore. You went and confronted them. What did you tell them when you confronted them?
So they didn't even open the door for me whenever I went to go confront them. They locked it and made sure I didn't get in there. And then she sent me a message and just said, hey, look at your email. And if you can't see your email, then here's the message. And then she sent it to my message. But I still haven't got a paper to tell me like what the incident report from last week from them. So I don't understand why they can send that to me easily, but they can't send the incident reports.
So I mean, there's no due process. There's not an investigation. They just sent you the email / text.
Oh, there's absolutely an investigation going right now. We have licensing up there today, and I will meet with them in the morning, and just to follow up what's going on, and I'll have to take my sons up there so they can speak to them. But we are definitely in under an investigation. We are just going. So
I respect that, but I'm saying as far as them, you know, dealing with
oh
your
yeah, no.
accusations, they didn't give you due process or even try to listen to you or correct any actions here.
Man, they put me on like a 2-week probation, but it was all them trying to cover up because I had told on the ladies about the monster and the claw in the dark room. So for a couple months now, this is all it's been is referrals and my kids getting in trouble and then them just trying to get us kicked out. You know, it's like retaliating.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. So you think once you started bringing these things forward, they started to retaliate against you and your
Yeah,
kids? Basically,
definitely,
that's how
man.
you felt.
Definitely, and they're attacking my kids and being just verbally to them. And my daughter, like, whenever she gets scared, you can see it on the video. She's gonna start crying, and she started doing that again, man. And it really bothered me, you know.
And real quick, I'm going to ask you. So you just feel that the way your kids were. I mean, this sounds horrible, just the monsters and all this other stuff. But your kids were not comfortable there, you know, for a good while. Is that accurate?
Yeah, no, they definitely weren't comfortable there.
Wow.
Every one of my kids would ask me if they could just come to work with me.
Damn.
Yeah, and I'm like, man, what? Like, I thought y'all were supposed to be playing and having a good time and learning stuff in here and enjoying life. I mean, that's what Jesus would want you to do, right?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest, bro. Sometimes I just take the Christian stuff out, and I'm just saying, be a morally good
Yep,
person. You know what I mean, bro?
exactly.
Because,
Yeah, no, exactly. But as a Christian church
amen.
and the daycare, I mean, the church people were running the daycare. So
Also, it's a
as for
church.
them, yeah, it's a church as well.
Oh, interesting. Who's the pastor? Do
Yep.
you know?
The pastor's the one that runs the daycare.
You know his name?
I'm not too sure on the name or anything, man. But I'm
Man,
sure I could get it.
don't worry, bro. Jason, we're gonna be digging into this, bro. I want to know a lot of stuff about this certain daycare slash church, and what you
Yeah.
told me is pretty disgusting. What were the actual thoughts or the response you got from the community? I see you have a lot of comments on this post.
Yeah, everybody's pretty upset about what's going on with the church. I guess they were dealing with it way before we were. They were just nervous to speak up. But I mean, y'all caught one single dad that's not. So I'm willing to take this all the way to the grave with me. So
All right. Well, Jason, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm trying to get a hold of someone that was worked there a while back. But final
okay.
words, if anything you want to tell anybody listening right now, and I'm gonna get a hold of you, bro. We're gonna work on something tomorrow. But final words for
Yeah,
everybody watching. Go ahead.
man, hold your children tight, love them, kiss them, and don't let nobody mess with them.
Amen. All right, Jason. I'll give you a holler tomorrow, brother. God bless you.
God bless you.
So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. Just had Jason on the line. Man, thank God I was able to get a hold of this other person. They picked up the phone. They messaged me real quick. Can you give an introduction as to who you are? And of course, you don't want to reveal your name. That's okay. But who are you?
I'm a previous director of the Child of Purpose Daycare Center.
Okay. And Jason was telling me they went through many directors. Is this correct?
Yes.
How long were you there, and when did you start? Well, you don't. Well, I guess you don't want to give too much info, but can you just give some info as to why so many directors were coming and going? Because Jason said he thinks there was a lot of problems there at the daycare.
There was. I believe I was there for 3 months.
And what happened?
Um, it was a lot going on. I mean, my first day there was already an incident with the parent. But not changing the diapers. That was the first incident that I ever witnessed. Teachers being hostile towards parents, being disrespectful, of course. It was my first day, so I kind of had to like jump in when I'm fairly new to everything. Um, it was mainly like I was trying to help the parents because that's who I'm there for the kids and the parents. And it was a lot of conversations, a lot of meetings with parents regarding the teachers and things that have happened there or that were going on. And I was putting a stop to all of it, but it was the fact that I was very young, I think, and there were like cultural differences in that aspect where they viewed younger people as kind of like a joke. So it was really like I was more of just a title rather than like the actual director.
Okay, so let me ask you, 'cause I asked him about this, and I'm not politically correct. I'll just say it how it is. I've heard that they are Nigerians that run this church, and it's a daycare, correct? Are they Nigerians?
Yes, that's correct.
So let's be honest. Do you think that because even Jason said that there was something about the culture, they try to use that kind of as an excuse, but do you think that them being Nigerians, being here in the United States, kind of, made it a little bit harder to work with due to cultural differences?
Very.
In what way?
Um, they would blame their culture for things that they would do.
Wow.
A lot of the times, and that's what they would tell parents, like it's cultural differences. And I would have to step in and tell parents like culture doesn't matter. Like we are in America, everyone needs
Thank
to
you.
adapt to
Hmm.
the American ways. We don't spank kids here. We don't like America is way different than other places, and we have set rules and set boundaries for that exact reason.
Hold on. They were spanking kids?
That's what one complaint was that a kid had gotten spanked. I don't know if that was an actual thing that happened. It was before I was there.
And I'm going to be honest. I don't know how long you've been a director for these daycares, but is that normal for a daycare to give discipline to a child in the form of spanking or hitting?
No, we actually have rules that we have to follow through licensing and regulations. We have I can't remember what they're called, but we have a bunch of rules set in place. Like you cannot put a child in timeout. A teacher has to talk to a child with a soft voice. You definitely can't hit because that's a very high risk deficiency to the point that they can shut you down. Um, Disciplining kids by telling them like you're gonna go to timeout or like the monsters in the closet, like they were saying, anything like that that they say negatively to a kid is very frowned upon.
I'm gonna be honest. Jason told me everything that you just said. He said they did it to his kids. So let's go to the monsters in the closet. Well, let me ask you this: when you saw this post, I don't know if you saw it or you saw that they tagged me in it, but you reached out to me. But when you saw this actual post and people are upset about it, did this surprise you whatsoever that this was going on or that this post was made?
It did not surprise me. I actually helped Mr. Jason with his kids and everything. It actually really it broke my heart. I mean, those kids would call me mommy, and every time I went in there, it was just hugs and smiles. And I mean, every kid, there's always going to be a classroom where there's a kid who has triggers, and it's not that they're bad; it's that they have triggers. And I think daycares need to be more educated on who they hire and how they educate their teachers, because it's not just a sit and babysit job. Like it's a real life job. Like you working with children, you have to dive into your inner childhood with them. And there was a lot of issues with that.
So you see the video, or I seen it, right? But he talks about, and he told me that he had him in a room. Are you aware of that room in the store, the situation with the monsters? I mean, putting the kid in a dark, pitch black room, how horrendous, right? But are you familiar with that room? Have they been doing it for a while?
Nothing like that went on when I was there. Because I tried to be as strict as I could, but I mean, they really wouldn't listen to me. They kind of took me like a joke. So, it never happened when I was there. I was usually always there during nap time and everything. I mean, I was a teacher, a cook, the director. I was everything in one, because if I wasn't, nobody was.
What do you mean?
They just the teachers just flat out would not do it.
Let me ask you, do they follow proper protocol as far as licensing and the way they treat kids? Do you recommend them? Do you think they're doing things wrong there?
I really think they're doing things wrong, and I think it's been kind of side-eyed and swept under the rug. When I was there, I mean, it's I there was a high risk deficiency under my belt because I was the director, but I had no idea what was going on in that classroom because I didn't have access to cameras. I didn't have access to anything in that daycare other than what was in my office.
Should you have had access to those cameras?
Definitely.
And what do you think were in the cameras?
They had a baby was with a blanket in the crib, and that is a very high risk deficiency because of safe sleep that we're supposed to practice in daycares, and you're supposed to take courses on it. We did get a high risk deficiency on that. Fire drills was another one. I had to do a bunch of them like weekly just to catch up on them for the daycare. There was a lot of forms that weren't filled out by teachers. Parents wouldn't fill out forms properly, so I was having to try to catch up on all of that.
What do you think was probably the biggest problem you saw there?
Probably the way they talk to the kids
How so?
in a very aggressive manner.
Wow.
And they would say it's because they have a heavy tone and a heavy voice because of their culture. But I mean, I'm Mexican. I came from a Hispanic household, and I would never talk to any kids like that.
So are you saying most of the staff is from Nigeria or Nigerian descent?
At the time that I was employed there, I was the only other ethnicity working at that daycare.
You wouldn't happen to know. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're legal citizens, correct? And they have the right qualifications. Are you sure about that?
I am not sure.
Oh, interesting. So most of the staff is Nigerian. Now, can you talk to me about, man, this is pretty crazy that you're saying there's procedure to follow when you run a daycare. And from what you're saying, they were not handling their procedures, their paperwork. They weren't doing that in a fit manner. Is that an accurate statement? Correctly?
That's correct.
Wow, that's pretty alarming. So let me ask you this: they said that it's a church. Also, do you know anything about it being a church?
It's advertised as a Christian-based learning center.
So is there a
But
church? Is there a church involved, or it's just a daycare?
they say the church is completely separate from the facility, but I mean, everybody reported to the pastor instead of me.
And the pastor, he runs the whole facility.
Just about.
What's his name?
They call him Pastor Mila.
Where's he from?
I believe he's from Nigeria as well.
Did he follow procedure? Was he a good, overseer of the daycare and the facility, in your opinion?
I would say yes, in a way. He would try, and he would try to help talk to the parents if I needed it. But a lot of the times, teachers weren't reprimanded.
These people don't have other daycares in Midland, do they? Because there's one near me that's opening up pretty soon, and I could tell they're Nigerian. Is this the only daycare that they run?
I believe so.
Okay, well, that's good to know. So, I guess your whole situation, what happened? Why'd you end up leaving? What happened there?
Everything was just too much for me. Everything going on there. I was disrespected like on a daily basis, and it was something I would always complain about to my husband. And at the time, my niece had passed away too, and everything just kind of hit me at once, and I just left.
Would you say that it was toxic working there?
Yes.
I guess what dealing with the parents and the teachers and the cultural differences, is that accurate?
Not the parents. I
Okay.
loved all the parents. I had a good relationship with all of the parents.
Do you think that they broke some laws, procedures with the way they ran this daycare from what you saw?
Yes.
What do you think can they fix this daycare?
No. I think, and my honest opinion, and I'm not trying to put myself on a high horse, I think, along with many parents, we all thought that I was the only Hail Mary for that daycare.
Wow. So I guess once you left, you think it probably went downhill from there?
Yes. I had a lot of parents reach out to me.
Okay. Well, anything else you want to add? Thank you for coming forward. Again, we're not going to disclose who you are. I think it's good that citizens come forward, especially in Midland. I mean, these are our kids. Jason is a hardworking barber. He has to use these kind of facilities, and it's pretty sorry the way that kids were treated, especially with these rooms. But final words for anybody out there watching. Go ahead.
I mean, just make sure that it's a good center that you're sending your kids to. If you feel anything's off, then something is definitely off in that facility.
Would you recommend anybody sending their kids to the Child of Purpose Daycare?
No.
Wow. All right. Well, I do appreciate your call. If you can, just hold on real quick.
Okay.
Thank you. Whoa. It's like 7 to 6, y'all. Poor kids. Now, what I'm going to do right now is run through these videos. Very alarming, very sad. And I'm going to be honest. These Nigerians, y'all, from what I've heard and what I know, they think that they are better than us. I kid you not. And anyways, I'll leave it at that. I ain't trying to be too political or with the cultural stuff, but I'm going to point it out because I think it should be inspected or at least analyzed and brought into the conversation. Hold on real quick.
What room are you in?
I was in Malia's room, and then we already ate. Then the teacher and
The teacher what?
the teacher I got out and the teacher got the teacher grabbed my arm and sat me down.
Yeah. How'd she grab your arm?
She squeezed my arm.
Did it hurt?
Yes.
A lot? What teacher was it?
It was Miss Blessing.
And you heard what the caller said, that you cannot be doing this kind of thing to children. I mean, this is not proper protocol. Here's another child.
If you don't go to sleep on that time, or if you be bad outside, then you go to the dark room.
What's in the dark room?
There's just chairs and beds.
What did they say there was in there?
A monster.
Who said that?
Miss Falaki.
Miss Falaki? And who else?
Miss Blessing.
And who else?
That's all I know. Who did it?
Wow. There's a child here crying.
Why are you crying? Why are you crying? Tell me.
Wow. And here's the monster room.
You're
fine.
good. There's the monster. Oh, that's my reflection.
You're fine.
You're good.
Wow. Well, there it is, y'all. It's a messed up deal. This is the... Let me get the actual info here. Now, you just look it up. Child of Purpose Daycare is in Midland, Texas. No reviews on the Facebook page. 432-215-8033 says to deliver quality child care using faith-based approach to instill hope and inspire future generations. But if you look it up on Facebook, a lot of shares. I mean, there's the Child of Purpose Daycare, y'all, Midland, Texas. Anyways, there's the video, y'all, with the whistleblower that came forth, the father. We will be investigating going further. Please be careful with your children and take care of them. It's very sad when people that you pay to watch them do these kind of things to the children. Very sad. With that, y'all, I'm out of here. God bless.